North Jersey news. North Jersey 1500. North Jersey 1500.
Greta, you know what you can do with that bell.
WGHT.
Yes, there is. 708 North Jersey 1500 WGHT. Jimmy House, Greta, Latona. There's snow outside. Gonna taper off. Ooh, chilly. Chilly.
Well, you know, chilly today, hot tamale. On WGHT Radio, North Jersey's radio station. A couple of birthdays today. Our oldest celebrity today. Maybe the name will ring a bell. If you listen closely, you're ready? Listen up now. Hal Williams. Hal Williams. 83 today. Who is Hal Williams? Come on, you know. Hal Williams, Sanford and Son.
Yeah, he was a police officer, I think. Yeah.
Right.
He was the police, and he was in 227.
He was the unhip guy, the unhip cop. He goes right off. No, man, right on.
You know, in the sitcom, he was what's her name? Marla Gibbs' husband. In the other one, in 227, when they owned the apartment building.
Yes.
That was that one, and then, but he started in Sanford and Son. He was the police officer.
The white one,
there.
the white cop. Let me out over here. Oh, the hip cop. The police officer of color who was a brilliant comedian. Red Fox hired all of his friends. So he wasn't the white cop?
No.
He was the one who kept correcting the white cop?
Yes.
The white cop tried to be hip and ghetto, and he would...
Yeah.
That show was great. Remember where Fred Sanford hid all his money in his desk and they had that secret knock?
Yes.
Oh, man. Julio the goat?
Mm-hmm.
Julio, get that goat out of here, Julio. Get that goat out of here.
And he did a ton of appearances all over the place.
Yeah, good actor.
Like, yeah, really. He was all over. Like, he was on Dukes of Hazzard, Knots Landing, Good Times, Quincy, he made an appearance.
Yeah?
Yes. You know, there were lots of, a lot of people made, Quincy and the Love Boat. They made like all those appearances like they did on, Fantasy Island, all those shows. So he was all over, the place in television. And I think he worked with Clint Eastwood too in The Rookie, maybe?
You know a lot about Hollywood, Greta. You're an abundance of knowledge, really. What I lack, what you lack in this, I gain in that, and what I gain in that, you lack at this.
Yeah.
We're a good team.
Yeah, we are.
High five.
High five. Yeah. Okay.
Give me five.
There you go.
Look,
Look, 7-Eleven, lucky 11.
7-Eleven?
Yeah, over there. 7-Eleven time.
Oh, wow. Hello, if you have us on in any 11-7s. 11-7s. Another birthday. Singer Joyce Vincent Wilson. Vincent Wilson. Now, Joyce Vincent Wilson is my personal favorite member of Dawn. You had Tony Orlando and Dawn. She's a wonderful actress. Wonderful person. The story is, though, the members of Dawn that you saw over the years on the TV show were not the same singers that sang on Tony Orlando's records in the studio for Dawn. Is that amazing?
Yep.
But when they decided to give Tony Orlando his new television show, they needed actresses who could sing. So Joyce passed the audition and became a member of Dawn. Now, did they still sing the records after the TV show? That's questionable because they had really no new releases except He Don't Love You and one other one that was their swan song. So maybe they did sing on those records, but the records, like the record I'm about to play right now from Dawn, Tony Orlando and Dawn, is not featuring the voice of Joyce Vincent Wilson. She was on the TV show and played Dawn.
Well, Linda November was the session, and Tony White, I think, they were the ones that were backing up.
Right.
At the time. But then when TV came along, they needed, something show-worthy and something that sparkled and shined that had, I guess, a little bit more. Sometimes session musicians are, not as vibrant
or good looking?
For TV. Well, I didn't want to go there, but since you put it out there, I wasn't going. I was trying to, market it nicely. It's all how you put the bow on it. So I was trying to, put it on the bow. But they were very talented, so they needed something that, people would keep on the TV.
Yeah, we needed Dawn members who are easy on the eyes.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So,
happy
birthday,
I was trying to keep it, give them their due in the sessions, but, I went out the window.
North Jersey 1500.
Legend of the Star. On Christmas night, so long ago, a star shined down, so all would know that in a manger on that night, a Savior was born, a guiding light. A star in the sky so bright and light, over the land was quite the sight. It led the way for the wise men three, to the child of God, who would set men free. This is the legend of the star, hoping these days bring you down memory lane filled with true friends, close family, and precious memories.
Have a Merry Christmas. North Jersey 1500. GHT.
Here's another one from the 1970s Preservation Files.
North Jersey 1500.
722 WGHT, North Jersey's radio station. Need to know.
Late great Tom Petty. Tom Petty there on WGHT. So Tom Petty, I'll tell you how you know you made it in America when you play the halftime show at the Super Bowl. And when he did it, he had kids cheering that were 8 years old all the way up to people cheering in their 60s and near 70. So he has what's called mass appeal. You ever hear of mass appeal? Guy was remarkable. My brother Kevin loved him before anybody else in the country loved him.
Yeah, I loved him too.
Yeah, really. And he never sold out. He never went into these lovey-dovey stuff, which you have to give him credit for, sticking to his guns. That one Southern Accents tour he did in the 80s, though, you wouldn't get away with that now.
No, absolutely not.
I went to that many times. Once was at the Meadowlands, and on stage behind him, his backdrop was a Confederate flag. That was crazy stuff. Crazy, right? Unbelievable. So yesterday, Governor Cuomo in New York City was accused of someone in his administration recently getting terminated for, well, guess what? Groping another member of the political team at the Capitol House in New York City, And Governor Cuomo, guess what? He's a slick guy. He says, this is not a governmental problem. This is a society problem. Society. You're breaking it down that, it's a government problem. It's a Hollywood problem. No. He said society's problem. What do you think of that?
It is society's problem. But where's the proof that this happened 20 years ago? You know how I feel about this. It's just not right to ruin somebody's life after 20-something years.
Greg, can I tell you something?
And there hasn't been a time that someone has not gone through that. It used to be called flirting.
I have never groped or touched a woman in my life.
And if someone comes forward and say they did, what defense do you have?
None.
I believe people when they say no, but there are people who will do that, who will come forward and say, you brushed against me, you're this, you're that. And where's your proof that happened 20 years ago?
So now, I thought Megan's Law was supposed to prevent, or not prevent, give people contentment that it couldn't happen with young kids. But when it happens with an adult and 20 years later it comes out, I don't get it.
That's what I'm saying. If this just
but I'm
happens
not a woman.
And you speak up, doesn't matter.
So I don't know how women feel.
Happens to men too.
Well, we'll find that out.
No,
with
it
Ryan
does.
Seacrest after New Year's
It does.
Eve.
It happens with men and cougar women, with younger men. It happens. It just has not come out yet. Absolutely.
But I like the way Governor Cuomo did that. He said it's not
But he's
a government
right.
problem.
It's not.
Society's problem.
It's not. It's not a government. It is a society problem. He's right. I have to agree with him. And I bring it down one more notch. It's a moral ethic. How can you in good conscience, when someone is married, has kids that are, and they have to hear that this happened 20 years ago with their mother or their father? You ruin people's lives doing that.
And all the time that...
And where's your proof that that happened?
And all the time that you and I have been here at WGHT, we never had that problem.
No.
So the people here are great and honest and respect women. But at at the bank where I worked, never happened. It just happens at different places at different times.
Because it's the person. It's not the,
Corporation.
It's not the corporation. That's why I have to laugh when, the corporations are having their holiday parties there. There's no mistletoe hanging up now. That's ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
No booze.
No booze.
Because you don't want to pay for the booze. Like, come on.
Ridiculous.
That's what that's all about. Don't blame it because there's something might happen.
Well.
Anyway.
Talking about booze, the portion of this program is brought to you in part by Jiggs McAllister's Music Saloon. And Jiggs always has that big New Year's Eve bash and no cover charge. So if you're tired of being scammed and ripped off with cover charges for New Year's Eve parties at places and facilities, Jiggs is the place to go this New Year's Eve. You don't even need a reservation. No reservation. Let's get the forecast right now. And do we have enough time for the traffic?
Yes, we do.
Let's roll.
Yes, we do. Today, morning snow, then cloudy, otherwise less than an inch expected, a high of 33. 13 with clear skies in the overnight. For tomorrow, cloudy, 30, 35 on Saturday. Right now, light snow, 32.
North Jersey News. North Jersey 1500. It's the morning show on 1500 WGHT.
This is the WGHT morning show. It is? Oh, okay. But you already know that, right? Yeah, okay. Thanks for listening.
North Jersey 1500.
Walking along in the snow, you need boots today for sure as the snow falls in North Jersey. 1500 WGHT. Ooh, for the snowbirds and Murray. It's 32 outside right now. We're live. We're local. Good morning. 740 on WGHT, North Jersey's radio station. Jimmy House. I'm Greta Latona. We're online at WGHTradio.com and tune in. That's the app. The snow falling should taper off by later on today with cloudy skies. So they're saying about an inch, but I think we're going to get a little bit more in the northern regions and just leave a little earlier. The roads are there a little slick. And please check your schools. Most of the schools in the area have a delayed start time today. So check your school before you go out the door, before you go to warm up the car. Your school probably has a delayed opening.
Today is National Yoga Day.
Oh, that's on my list. To center.
Yoga looks easy until you try it.
It's very true. It is very, very true. Yoga.
A couple of friends of mine.
It's very.
Tore an ACL because the instructor. They blamed it on the instructor. Well, I told them to blame the instructor, not to sue or anything, just because the instructor has to know that you're not flexible when you first start and treat you as so. But what happens is you get in these yoga classes and you see the people in the front row doing it.
And you think, I can do that too.
Or you don't want to embarrass yourself when you try it. And when you pull or pop a ligament, unless it's severe damage, you really don't feel it until the next day because your adrenaline and your body compensates because the muscle. It's amazing when you break your arm, I'll tell you. Unless it's a compound fracture, your body automatically sets the bone for you by tightening the ligaments and the muscles around it. The human body is an amazing thing. But yoga, our advice to you is don't try it.
Oh, they had the game, the Wii game, the kids?
Yeah.
Remember that? And there was the Wii Fit. So we bought it because we're going to get fit for the new year. Of course, it was a Christmas present. We're going to get fit for the new year. So yoga was one of the programs. And the kids were tweens. And I said, I can do this yoga. You're standing like a tree. You're doing the dog. I could do this. Well, and it monitors you when you hold the little stick. So, Michelle went, she did it perfectly straight. My son did it with his friends perfectly straight because it monitors like your alignment while you're doing the positions and then it graded you. I went and you would have thought that there was a tumbleweed on the screen. It was all over the place, and all I was doing was standing there. I couldn't do it. So it said, you failed, you need to go and revisit the introduction, because I was a mess when it came to yoga. So thinking that, it's there and you're just standing there, it's not. It's not. And basically it said, you're going to hurt yourself if you do it this way. So electronically it even knew that, yoga's not for me.
Big movie opening up this weekend. We mentioned it yesterday, but now we'll give you a little bit more information about it. It's going to be Star Wars The Last Jedi, and this is an installment of the Star Wars sagas, which picks up where The Force Awakens left off with Luke Skywalker. He teaches in ways of the Force, and Skywalker's former apprentice, Kylo Ren, continues to explore the dark side. Carrie Fisher's in this one. And that alone puts a smile on people's face. The late, great Carrie Fisher, Debbie Reynolds' daughter, and Eddie Fisher's daughter. And Carrie, in the movie, admittedly said that she was too overweight and just didn't look good. Now, this was before she passed away, and the movie had already been shot. Bad choice of words. But did you like Carrie Fisher? I always did. I really did. Carrie Fisher.
I never really thought much about her. She just was there. She was, part of that whole, pop scene at the time.
Well, her part in Star Wars was the final screen test was between Carrie Fisher and Jodie Foster. And Carrie beat out Jodie Foster, and she was shocked that Carrie Fisher did get the part of Princess Leia. And Carrie Fisher said this, the reason why, and I believe it, because she still knows every line by heart from the first movie. Carrie Fisher said she's a genius, and she knew her lines reading them once. Sort of like you, Brett.
Yeah, she had a photographic memory.
Yeah, so Carrie Fisher got the part over Jodie Foster. Even though Jodie Foster had the better looks and had the look for the part, they went with Carrie Fisher to stay on budget without any outtakes, and she was brilliant. And it paid off. The thing that Carrie Fisher regretted was the second movie when they had her running around in that ridiculous outfit.
Yeah.
That outfit was crazy. How did she agree to that? I don't know.
It was in the contract. Well, I guess she never thought there would be an outfit like that.
She had the body for it.
Well, yeah.
I mean, that was beautiful. It was classy.
And kudos to the costume designer.
Yeah, it covered everything up.
That, worked with that.
Who wants to see that anyway? Yuck. Ooh. Good job on that Jeez. Hey, man, you have to be careful in this day and age. When I come in the morning, you know what I do?
What?
I shake Greta's hand. I don't give her a hug. I don't want any problems from Greta. I don't want to be...
It could go the other way around,
What do you mean?
I know.
You know. You mean I say, what do you mean? And you say, I know.
Yeah.
What is that?
We just went through this.
You good talk.
Look, we just played I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. That's why. I'm sorry, I wasn't. They're talking about Kaylee PD in the news.
So I was coming in this morning and I saw an elf riding his icicle to work. How about that one? You hear the illness when you're scared of Santa Claus? You're claustrophobic. Today is National Yoga Day. It's also National Monkey Day. I know. Why? I don't know. But it is, here in America, National Monkey Day. Maybe PETA has something to do with that. I don't know, but I've been to the zoo because somebody told me it's all happening at the zoo, so I figured I'd go to the zoo. And you go to the monkey cage, you can't help but feel sorry for them, but they look at you. And they're saying, let me out of here. Come on. Even Van Saun Park has monkeys.
Yeah, lots of them. I'm going to Turtleback Zoo Monday. They have the light show.
Yeah.
For the kids. We're going there to see the Christmas lights or holiday lights. It's a nice little, night out for the family.
Turtleback Zoo was so popular when I was a kid. It was the place to be.
Still is. It's all redone now.
Turtleback Zoo.
They got nice grants.
Do they have turtles?
They have turtles. They have giraffes now.
Really?
They have a whole, like a safari section.
Hippopotamus?
They do, and we just played I Want a Hippopotamus for Christmas. Kaylee Peavy. Well, that originated in 1953, and part of the promotion and the marketing for it at that time was that she would give a hippopotamus to the zoo in her honor, for everybody to enjoy. Well, guess what? They did it again. Same zoo, same song, same person. Kaylee Peavy. They gave it.
How much does a hippopotamus cost?
A statewide fund drive. Kids donated dimes to purchase the pachyderm to the zoo. Peavy was there in 1953, and that hippopotamus was Matilda. This one is called Nile.
Matilda. Costs a lot of money to have hippopotamuses. They eat a lot of food.
They do.
What do they eat? They're vegetarians, by the way. They're vegans. So they eat plants, and they eat leaves, and they eat seaweed. I believe they're very territorial, so they're very dangerous to be near. Very dangerous, but...
So more than 60 years after that song about wanting a hippopotamus for Christmas, Kayla Peavy, again, she helped the facility purchase a 26-year-old hippopotamus. Wow. That's pretty neat. Wow.
1989, on this day, Nobel Peace Laureate Andrew Day Sakharov died in Moscow at 68. By the way, the Nobel Peace Prize, the reason that came about is this. Nobel, the great scientist, invented dynamite. And dynamite changed the world for the worse. Of course, it did open the West, mining. It did a lot of good. But Nobel wanted to be remembered as something good. He wanted a legacy, because dynamite, he knew, would be the demise of man. So, in his will, he opened up what's called the Nobel Peace Prize, so that he would be remembered not for the inventor of dynamite, because he was able to take nitroglycerin and stabilize it and make it into dynamite. The inventor of nitroglycerin was almost killed by the unstable chemical makeup of nitroglycerin. He, Dr. Nobel, worked for many, many years to stabilize nitroglycerin. He tried everything. He tried it, mixing it with sawdust. He tried mixing it with calcium chloride. He tried everything. And then one day, he discovered dynamite. Now, I'm not talking about what the Japanese use for gunpowder. I'm talking about dynamite. The same dynamite they use today. So that's where the Nobel Peace Prize came from. When he passed away, he could easily have been remembered as the inventor of dynamite, and Jimmy Howes wouldn't be on the radio today telling you why the Nobel Peace Prize exists, because people are like, who's this guy Nobel? So now you know. Dr. Nobel, invented dynamite. And so people would not remember him for that. Of course, that made him a billionaire. A virtual billionaire in the 1800s, early 1900s, billions of dollars. He set up the fund where everybody gets $1 million if they do something for world peace or to better the world. Tell me that's not brilliant.
It is.
Sometimes people are selfish and they try to do something so that they're remembered, when they don't deserve it. But he deserved it. Dynamite changed the world.
It did. It changed the landscape of the world, for sure.
Oh, it also helped Jimmy Walker, made Jimmy Walker a big star. I would watch Good Times and he'd go, Dynamite! Hey, Dynamite! It's also Monkey Day! Did somebody say monkey? What is this? Every button I push...
Well, that's the birds.
How come
You're in the aviary at the zoo. You've got to move to a different section.
Greta, no, that was Snowbird again.
Yeah, it was.
What do I have, Snowbird? 3 copies of Snowbird over here?
You must. They have backup snowbirds. They like
the radio station with the most on-air mistakes.
That's me.
they do travel together.
Putting me on the air is an on-air mistake.
Oh, there we go.
This song's called Jimmy Howes and Greta Howes Get.
7:55 WGHT. North Jersey's radio station. There you go. Ooh.
And they're off. And you lose. 7:55, 5 minutes before 8 o'clock here on the longest running morning radio show in the New York metropolitan market. Imus was off the air for a year.
Yes.
So that jumped us way up. Howard Stern on satellite. So you're listening to the longest running successful morning radio show in the New York City market, and that is quite an honor and accomplishment. You're also listening to a radio station that has been nominated for a Marconi Award for Program Oldie Station of the Year. You're listening to a radio station that has been nominated for 11 Crystal Radio Awards.
12.
12?
Even dozen.
Look it up how great that is and what an honor that is. All the awards, AP News Awards, New York Air Awards. You're listening to a highly decorated radio station that we never brag about.
Garden State Broadcasters.
Numerous. You can't even count how many awards the station has won. And John Silliman, as modest as he is, this is the truth. He never really wanted to let anybody know about our awards, and I agreed with him. Because an award, most of the time, and Greta will agree with this, is given to somebody so that the award that's being given to you can get publicity and funding. Or, if you get an Oscar, or a Tony, or an Emmy, it's a public relations show to get interest sparked for TV shows. But with the radio broadcasting awards that this station has won and has been nominated for, great honor. Great honor. And our listeners listen without knowing how many awards we've won. Occasionally, the Daily News
Pop something in there.
There was a huge story about us in the Daily News when CBS FM went to Jack FM. And then that's the year we were nominated for the Marconi Award. And I just want to mention that. But Gret, we're going to skip traffic because it's a mess. We don't need to tell people why they're stuck in traffic. It's obviously the snow. So we'll save it for Mike here on WGHT. What we need to do is find out how long this stuff is going to be falling from the sky because we don't like it.
Well, Mother Nature, she's wrapping it in a pretty morning snow, maybe an inch or two expected. And then it tapers off with a high of 33 for today. Tonight, clear skies, cold overnight. 13, lucky 13 tomorrow. Clouds around 30, 35 with sunny skies on Saturday. Right now, you've got a light snow falling. 28.
Here are the WGHT contest rules. Prizes are provided to randomly selected contest winners unless otherwise specified. Employees
Legal mumbo jumbo.
GHT and their immediate families are not eligible to win. Only one prize per person, family, or household within any 30-day period is permitted. Prizes
Legal mumbo jumbo
may be required to pick up their prizes during normal business hours. WGHT Radio is not responsible for prizes that may get lost in the mail. Prizes must be claimed within 30 days after winning. Winners must provide acceptable form of identification to pick up a prize. WGHT reserves the right to use winners' names or voices for promotional purposes. WGHT has the right to substitute any prize. Calls made to the contest line are subject to recording and or broadcast. All taxes are the responsibility of contest winners. To receive a copy of these contest rules, call 973-839-1500.
Legal mumbo jumbo.
Here we come.
This is North Jersey's live and local radio station, North Jersey 1500 WGHT, Pompton Lakes, New Jersey, New Jersey, New Jersey.